Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to continue our heavy cutting compound contest, our series, and in particular, we're going to take a look at Jescar Correcting Compound. Now, this series is all about the real heavy hitters, the heavy-duty cutting compounds for some major blemishes. And we put them up against each other. We see how they cut, first and foremost, what they're made for. But we take in the other tangibles. Do they dust? Do they have a dusting problem? How hard is it to wipe off the residue? How long? What's the open time or the cycle time? We include price and odor. All the small details we collectively put in the pot, and we bring out some of the best compounds and see which ones come up on top. Speaking of that, as of right now, we have Sonax Cutmax, we have 3D HD Plus, we have Ardex Bronze, honorable mention Car Pro, the last cut Atoms. Now, this order here is how I rank them in my environment, and this may change slightly depending on what kind of environment you guys are working in. What isn't going to change is everything written on this board here are incredible compounds, and one of these will work for you. No question whatsoever. If we test a compound and it's not written up here, it's not going to work for what I believe myself or you guys in a heavy cutting compound situation. So, without further ado, let's grab the Jescar Correction Cream. Let's do some testing. I do want to add, I have a few days in between these videos because besides this testing, I like to take the compound out into the shop and put them into real world situations, corrections on different hardness of clear coats, and see how they act there as well. So let's get to it. There was a huge demand, a lot of requests for me to go out and find this Jescar Correcting Compound to test. I found it in 8 ounce and 32 ounce. 8 ounce, $19.99, 32 ounce for $39. Low dusting, long cycle time, and can correct some major blemishes. No fillers, no additives. What you see when you're correcting is what you get. Even if you use an IP wipe, it won't make much of a difference. There will be quite a few coming up where I will have to use an IP wipe because they have some fillers and some other enhancers in there. But if you guys have found a 16 ounce container of this stuff, please let us know and put a link. I failed to find that. I just found the 8 ounce and the 32 ounce. Most labels for these products will give itself credit for being able to remove either 1,000 or 1,500 grit sanding marks. This one here states 1,500 grit or higher. I have that covered here because I have 2,500 grit all the way down to 800 grit. So there's 5 different sections, all with different sanding marks. We're going to take a run all the way down through all those sections and back and see where, if at any section, these compounds start to fail at all. Some start to fail at 1,500, very, very few. Some really drop off at 1,000, and they all fail at 800. There's really no compound that we've tested that's been developed to correct 800 grit marks. But it sure is fun to see how these go after that section and really give a good attempt. Some of them really do. Okay, I'm going to remove the residue from the sanding. I will also remove the tape marks so we can make a path down through these sections. Before we do that, I'm going to put a little bit of the product on the panel, spread it out, and see if we could see and feel any of the grit or the abrasives. Some products you can really see those abrasives and feel them, and that's going to give us a little bit of a heads up that it's going to be doing some dusting. It doesn't always happen that way, but a large majority. I don't see any. I don't feel much of a grit, so that could be good and bad. It could be good that it doesn't dust, but it doesn't cut as well, so we'll see what happens here. I'm going to spread out an even amount of the product over all these sections here as best as I can, and then I'm going to start running from one section, the 2,500 grit, all the way down through the 800 and back. course, we're using the same polisher, the Flex XFE 712 83-inch polisher. I use that because the path that it makes is quite smaller and more distinct, and it also puts more of the work on the compound. I don't want to use a rotary or a long throw polisher and take away from the work or the action that these compounds have to do. I want to leave it all squarely on the shoulders of the compounds to see what they do. And when I'm making the path down through, it's going to be slow, exaggerated arm movements with the polisher at about mid-speed. Hardly any pressure at all. Again, letting the compound do the work. I'm just guiding the tool with both hands. Attached to the polisher is just your standard orange-colored foam cutting pad. I have 3 of them for this polisher that cut exactly the same. They get cleaned thoroughly between testing and are just used for this testing. I also need to remind you guys I have 4 panels like this, some with different colors, but they all have 4 to 5 coats of Global 1K clear coat. So we're testing on similar surfaces on each panel. And you'll see test marks from sandpaper and the rotary and long throw polishers. All kinds of testing get done to these panels, but I always leave a section or 2 behind for this testing here. By the way, these top cutting compounds that are on the tables chart on our podium there, you can see what they do with just this little 3-inch polisher. Imagine what they could do with a long throw or a rotary with a wool pad. These are some really good chemicals here. Okay, that's going to do it. We're going to shut off our polisher, and we're not going to remove it until everything has stopped completely, stopped rotating and oscillating. It saves wear and tear on your polisher and pads. That gives me enough time to grab the camera and bring it in close. You can see there's a lot of product. We could have made another pass or 2. And what is really great to see is little to no dusting whatsoever. I love that. Another thing we look for, and this is something you'll have to rely on me to kind of explain to you, but removing residue, this stuff here is no effort whatsoever. I'm not pushing down hard with the microfiber to remove any residue. So let's look at each section. It blazed right through the 2500 and the 2000 grit. We have had some polishes that started to have a little trouble at the 1500 grit section here, and no problem whatsoever. And this is what the label says it can remove. At the 1000 grit, you'll see, and this really surprised me, it did a very, very good job. Only a couple long, deep scratches from my uneven sanding, and we want that. We want some real-world damage. And the 800 grit section, you could see, it had a heck of an attempt. And as usual, before we move on, I'll try and get as many angles as I can so you could see. And take notice that it doesn't leave behind any kind of hazing as some of the hard hitters do. Now, the little side test that I like to do and have done for all of these compounds is take the last 2 sections, the 1000 and the 800 grit, and work on them for an extended period of time. See if I can really get these compounds to dust, see how long the cycle time is, or the open time, or the working time is with these chemicals, and also see, after I'm done making a few passes, how much of the damage can I remove with this compound. that is going to do it. Let me put the polisher down. Give me a minute to grab the camera, and I'll bring you in close, and we'll get as many good angles as we can here. See what the Jescar Correction Compound has done. There's plenty of product here. We could have made some more passes yet, and you'll also notice very little, no dusting. Very good stuff here. Now we're going to grab the microfiber. We're going to see how hard it is to remove all this residue. As you can see here, not much effort whatsoever. All right, with the residue gone, I can, as usual, give you as many angles using the light as I can to show you these sections and show you how it worked. I love it when these compounds outperform what they claim on the label, and this has. It's usually the other way around, but I really enjoy this stuff. I also took the Jescar out into the shop and corrected some hard GM clear coat and some softer Asian with both great results. Alright guys, that was the Jescar Correction Compound. I will put a link down below. This is very good stuff. Long working time or long cycle time. It has good cut to it. It has very little to no dusting whatsoever. Wipes off the panel easily, and so on. We put a lot of information into rating these products here, and this one does very well. I suggest when it's time to pick up a new compound for heavy cutting, look into this. Again, I'll have a link down below. So we actually have some movements on our podium, and Sonax will keep the top spot. We have Jescar moving in, sliding into the silver position, dropping down 3D HD Cut Plus, and that will also drop Ardex down into the honorable mention department. Now again, this is for me in my environment, how I use them. This may be a little different for you guys, but what won't be different is everything written down here is an incredible compound, and any one of these would work for you, depending on your environment and your situation. I'm shop, I'm out of the direct sunlight and heat. It's a little bit different for you guys that were on the road. I used to be on the road. I used to be in your shoes. But what isn't different is all of these are great compounds. If it's not written on here, it's pretty much not going to work for heavy cutting compounds. So that's going to end today's video. We have a lot more compounds to go. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.